Well, we're visiting this old Dales pasture today just to see how many flowers there are and what a wonderful Dales pasture looks like, a relic of the past. This ancient pasture is rich in a huge variety of plants, and just in this little patch here we have this beautiful purple flowers, and then we have alongside it lots of yellow rattle. Here's another orchid about to appear. You can see the spotted leaves there, but it hasn't quite emerged yet. There's the flower head. And then just behind the orchid we have this little flower again, Euphrasia or eyebright, calcium loving little plant, although it will grow in other places, but if you get lots of it, it's indicative of calcium rich soil. And here we have pig nuts again, with a little tuber on the bottom which is edible. And everywhere is this flower, which I think is called salad burnet. And there you can see the leaf. And if we look at this salad burnet, we can see there that all its stamens hanging out in the wind. It's obviously a wind pollinated flower. It's not colourful for attracting insects, and it produces no nectar. The leaves add a chicory flavour to salads. And we've also got the appearance of what we call cuckoo spit. It's made by a little thing called froghopper larva to protect itself, and then when it changes into a froghopper, it's a little leaping insect, a little green leaping insect. But we call it cuckoo spit because it appears at the same time as a cuckoo begins calling, following its migration back to this country from Africa. Although I haven't heard one for maybe a couple of years now. The blue plant is common milkwort, very deep blue. It's a beautiful dense blue colour. It's a very dense blue colour. When you get a little patch of it like that, it stands out, even though the flowers are very small. This little white flower is called fairy flax. See the leaves there. And the flower on the top. It's used for purging. Not only are they keen on, or were they keen on spring cleaning at this time of year, spring cleaning the house, This stuff was used to spring clean your bowels. You take the dried plant and you pour hot water on it to make an infusion, a bit like making tea, and you drink it, and it relieves constipation. If you drink too much, it gives you diarrhea, and if you drink a little bit more of it, it makes you vomit. If you drink an awful lot of the stuff, it makes you seriously ill. In fact, it can be so poisonous it will kill you. So although it looks a little tiny thing, lots of it makes you very, very ill. And here we see another of the sedges. And here, right at the very top of the hill, where it's probably a little drier, we've got this big patch of eyebright. Flower with a little purple veins on the petals and that yellow spot in the middle. This calcium loving little plant. On pastures which have been treated with lime, this little plant grows in profusion. And on the edges of the fields we've got this little plant. I think it might be called a rock rose, I'm not sure. And then down in the grass here is another one of these little caterpillars. It'll be interesting to find out what it is. And again, it's on the leaf of the lamb's tongue or rib-leaved plantain. Although it doesn't seem to be eating it. I can't see any evidence of it having eaten it. And here we have a caterpillar on the leaf of this plantain. I don't know what it's a larva of. It's obviously a butterfly of some description, but I'll check later. It's a very pretty thing. It's something I'm not terribly familiar with. Well, the miracles of nature, how this thing here changes into a butterfly. Absolutely amazing. The caterpillar, which I saw in the meadow, isn't in fact a butterfly at all. It's a narrow-bordered 5-spot burnet caterpillar. So I'm looking forward to seeing this moth when they eventually pupate and then emerge. You've also got the remains of bugle, blue flower. There's one just left on the top there. It's usually a woodland flower. And here we have the remains of the cowslips, which have obviously been in profusion in this meadow. And these heads here will be full of seed. But interestingly, alongside it is this grass. It's just beginning to emerge now, and it's called quaking grass. When it's fully open, it sort of shakes in the wind. Instantly recognizable. Now you can see it perhaps a little bit better. Very common in pastures like this, but very rare elsewhere. You see it quaking in the wind there. It shivers. And there's one just beginning to emerge. The flower spike is just beginning to. We've also got avens. These would be wood avon, and they've already been pollinated and produced this fruit, which is designed to stick to your clothing, so you carry the seeds to pastures new. This is the biggest of the geraniums which you find in the wild. This is meadow crane's bill, and that beautiful blue flower. And it produces these fruits, which you can see here. Each of them contains 4 seeds in this big spike. It looks like the beak of a stork or the beak of a crane, which I suspect is why it's called a crane's bill, meadow crane's bill. See more of them there. And when they dry out, a little piece of tissue coils like a spring, and when it snaps it throws the seeds quite a long way, so they don't compete with one another. They don't all grow together in one small piece of ground. They're dispersed. You can see one of the sedges. There are many of them. I don't know which this one is. And behind it you've got a beautiful little spread there of common milkwort. That lovely blue flower. This is red clover. If you just pull one of the little flowers off, two. If you suck the end, you can get the sweetness of the nectar, which of course beloved of bees and moths. Here on these damper margins of the field, everything is much bigger. The salad burnet is quite tall here. You can see it there. Whereas on the main pasture, it's quite short. Periphery of the field, we have much more of this Geranium speedwell. Beautiful blue flower. When they get older, they go sort of pale lilac. There you can see the flower with its lovely stamens and dark blue honey guides leading to the centre of the flower where the nectar is. Again, on the margins of the field we get crosswort. This beautiful lime green plant. Everything about it is crosses. If you look at the flowers, you'll see they have 4 petals. You will see the leaves are in 4s round the stem. The stem has 4 sides, it's a sort of square stem. Everything about it crosses. It's a lovely plant.